All right, next we have agenda item 6, employee compensation. In light of the poor economy, we're just going to have to consider recommending a small across-the-board raise this year, although we do have 2 individuals that will qualify for higher raises due to special circumstances as recommended by their department heads. The agenda says that we may go into a closed session under Section 1985(1)(c) of the Wisconsin statutes, which allows considering compensation or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
Mr. Chair?
Do you wish to so move?
Actually, no. I could wait for the discussion after the motion, but if it's okay, I'd like to point out a problem.
Go ahead.
Thanks. The agenda says that we may go into closed session to recommend an across-the-board pay raise plus evaluate 2 individuals for a greater raise. I don't have a problem with the individual evaluations, but the across-the-board raise is a policy matter which must be taken up in open session.
You know, I think you might have something there. I meant to check it out, but it just slipped my mind. Let's go ahead and first talk about the general pay raise in the open session. Okay, I think the employees will understand. Now, to the closed session. As I said before, we have a closed session notice to consider compensation for 2 specific employees under Section 1985(1)(c), Wisconsin statutes. Do I have a motion?
I move that we go into closed session to consider compensation for the 2 employees, one in the police department and the other in the public works department, recommended for additional raises.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
The motion to go into closed session under Section 1985(1)(c), Wisconsin statutes to evaluate 2 employees for compensation is made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The clerk will please call roll.
Cudahy?
Aye.
Noble?
Aye.
Koski?
Aye.
The motion to close passes. Will everyone please leave the room except the body members, the clerk, and the police chief? I see we have a governing body member here. You may stay if you like. After the chief's business is finished, we'll invite the public works director next to consider his recommendation. Okay, everyone's out. Please close the doors.
Mr. Chair, as long as the chief's here, I wonder if he might give us a report on how he plans to curb the vandalism that's been plaguing us. I think we're allowed to discuss strategies for crime prevention in closed session, right?
Sorry, we haven't given notice of the topic, so we can't take it up.
Oh.
The first thing to note is that a governmental body must first meet in open session before going into closed session. This segment then makes the point that policy matters, here and across the board raise, must be discussed in open session. Because the presumption of the law is that a meeting must be open, closing a meeting may only be done under one of the specific provisions in Section 19.85 sub 1 of the statutes. Other reasons for closure include considering discipline of an employee, considering business where bargaining reasons require closed session, such as setting a negotiating strategy for a purchase, considering certain personal information about individuals, such as medical histories or disciplinary data, which might have a substantial adverse effect on their reputation, and conferring with legal counsel on strategy with respect to likely litigation. The committee member was right to challenge going into closed session for a policy discussion. However, if the body had closed, that member still would have been allowed to participate. By voting against closure, a member is protected from liability for violating the law. Specific procedures must be followed to go into closed session. First, the presiding officer announces the business to be considered and the statutory provision allowing closure. Next, a vote is taken and recorded that shows how each member voted. Then everyone leaves except body members and necessary staff. However, a member of the body's parent body may attend the closed session unless the rules of the parent body provide otherwise. Here, a governing body member may attend the committee's closed sessions. Next, we saw that, as with open sessions, only noticed topics may be taken up in closed session. A couple of key matters were not covered in the segment. First, after the body finishes its closed session, it may convene an open session only if the meeting notice so provides. Second, voting in closed session is not covered in the segment. A vote on a matter considered in closed session may be held in closed session, or it may be done in open session, unless that would compromise the reason for closure, such as setting a negotiating strategy. The Attorney General recommends voting in open session when possible.